Seattle Mariners just won their 6th series in a row, this time taking a series versus the Miami Marlins. But at what cost? Joe and I are going to talk about this series, how good the offense has looked, and of course, in our middle topic here, we're going to talk about Logan Gilbert, the outlook for him, the replacement for him, the potential replacements if he's out for a little bit longer than we thought. I'll come up with my Operation Overreaction moving forward, and then we're going to talk about this Los Angeles Angels of Disneyland series. It's just a 2-game set coming up here pretty soon. Thank you guys so much for watching episode 186 of the Hit It Here podcast, part of the Bleav network, available on all your favorite audio platforms. I remembered. This is the Cade, the Zach, the Cam, and the William episode of the podcast. All 4 of them have purchased some of our fun merch over on the Fourth Wall shop, including the Heck the Astros shirt and the brand new Tridents Up Torpedoes Away shirt. So thank you guys so much for supporting us there. And I'm here with Joe. Joe, how are we feeling?
Good. Another series win. We mentioned in the previous podcast that this could be a sweep, and I hate to say it, but it should have been. I don't want to be grumpy or feel like you left a little bit on the table here against the Marlins. You won the series, and that's what counts, I think, ultimately. But you look back at that first game, which we're going to talk about here. 6 unearned runs to the Mariners side, given to the Marlins. If you take those 6 runs away, what's the final score of that game?
4-2.
4-2. What happens the rest of the series? You sweep it. You bring out the brooms on Sunday. The second Sunday sweep of the year after sweeping the Rangers earlier in the year. Listen, I'm happy that they won. The last game specifically, because having a debut, going up against Max Meyer, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but that first game, you look back and yes, there's a bit of a stain because of the injury to Logan Gilbert. But I think the larger stain is that you lost that game because of one costly error.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the error from Dylan Moore ended up leading to 6 unearned runs, in that inning. It would have been a clean inning for Casey Lawrence, who came on in relief of Logan Gilbert. Unfortunately, Dylan Moore couldn't field a ground ball hit literally right to him. I don't know. Dylan Moore's defense this year has been so strange to me.
Ups and downs.
It's been the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, which has been so weird. There were people that were pretty upset in this game, saying that they should have pulled Casey Lawrence once Jorge Polanco, I think it was, hit that 3-run home run that pulled the Mariners within 2 or 1. But then Casey Lawrence gave up
I think it was 6-4,
right,
so within 2.
Yeah, and then Casey Lawrence gave up another 2 runs, and well, that was that. And so when it comes to that game, yes, I do agree that maybe there should have been, maybe Carlos Vargas should have come in once there were runners on base for Casey Lawrence there, so that didn't happen. But whatever. It is what it is. I think that, it almost had to happen. They had to lose the first game of the series so they could win the next 2.
Because that's how they've won the last 6 series.
Exactly.
You lose the first game and then you bounce back and win the final 2.
Exactly. Sure. And so it had to happen. It just came at the cost of Logan Gilbert for at least a month, probably, if not longer. But we'll talk about that here in the middle topic. Moving on to game 2, Joe. This was a game that we needed desperately because the vibes were at an all-time low with Logan coming out of that game.
Yeah, you don't ever want to lose, I think, anyone to injury, but when it's the ace of your staff, the Chad innings eater, but not the meme where he's got a 90 ERA plus. Like that, Logan is the stereotypical just workhorse. The guy that's going to go out there every single year, give you 32 starts, over 200 innings, and that's what he did last year. Obviously led the league, and not the league, he led the entire MLB in innings pitched. Coming out of the gate, first pitch swinging from Julio Rodriguez in the bottom of the first, hits an absolute piss missile out to left. Immediately switched the vibe. And then Polo followed up with a back-to-back shot there in that first inning, and the Mariners did not stop. They were unrelenting on the offensive side of the ball here. 14-0. They scored 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, they did.
The Seahawks won 14-0 against the Miami Dolphins in this one. The type of game, specifically after such a bad vibes night with the big injury and the air, to come out and just stomp a team 14-0, it had to have felt good. Just going out there and roll. Just keep on putting up runs.
Yeah, this is what good baseball teams do. They have a bad night. It happens. There's 162 games a year. You're going to have bad nights like you did in that first game. Maybe you're not going to lose your star pitcher, But you're gonna have bad nights like you did in that game, and then they flush it. They come back out and they win 14-0. Luis Castillo was great in this start. Jorge Polanco had a couple of home runs in this one. He looks better than we've ever seen Jorge Polanco in his entire MLB career. So hopefully it stays that way. But yeah, overall, just a very good vibes win for this one. The Mariners were able to get it done. We saw a position player pitch a couple of innings.
Yeah, a handful.
We saw Mitch Garver hit a home run off of a position player. So yeah, just a fun night overall, and that all kind of culminated in the game on Sunday, where the Mariners were going to have Logan Evans take the mound. As he's not taking Logan's spot per se, he is pitching in this spot. And then everyone else got moved back a day because of this. So Logan Evans made his MLB debut, pitched quite well. 5 innings pitched, gave up 2 earned runs on 2 hits. Yeah, I think Logan Evans, that's going to be a problem
yeah,
for me.
it is.
That's going to be a problem for me. Logan Evans pitched really well in this game. It was really cool to see his family at the ballpark as well. And the Mariners offense took care of business, Joe.
So I didn't get a chance to watch this game. Cal hit a home run, his 10th homer of the year. Beyond that, like, who were like the stars of this game? Like, is it another Polanco situation? I mean, you just pulled the box score from me, so I can just say
cheating.
I don't have to play like the fool here. Polanco another 3-hit game.
Couple of doubles.
JP Crawford a big game, 2 for 3.
He hit a home run in this game.
He hit a home run in the game. That was the late go ahead, wasn't it? Oh, or not go ahead,
but add on.
The add on, which helped preserve the lead because Trent Thornton gave up a 3-run homer to, what was it, Norby? Okay. 7-6 final score. Evans pitched well. Mariners offense stays hot. Donovan Solano extra base hit, per se. People are saying he might be back. The bottom of this lineup, because I don't know why Ben Williamson got scratched.
Back spasms.
That's what it ended up being. And obviously Tellez got hit on the hand in the previous night. So like, it makes sense that he'd get the day off. I was surprised when they announced the lineup that he was originally in it.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. I don't expect either of them to be out super long term necessarily. Like, it just seems like a day off, and then you have another day off on Monday going into a 2-game set on Tuesday. It just feels like a way to get some guys some extra rest. Leo Rivas continues to get on base. I mean, when I checked the box score early in the game, he had 2 plate appearances, and I think he walked in both of them. So good for him. Colin Snyder, not a clean inning, but holds the lead enough. I don't know how ugly it was, but 1 inning, 3 hits, 1 earned. That's not what you want. But when you had at that point, a 4-run lead, it was okay.
Yeah, and in the end, I mean, Snyder pitched fine. Gabe Spire came out and pitched really well, struck out 2 as well. It's really Trent Thornton, and this is what we need to talk about. I think more than anything about this game specifically, it's probably time, right? It's probably time for the Mariners to
take him out to pasture.
Send Trent Thornton out to pasture. Send Goggles, put him down on the nightstand for the final time, if you will. With that being said, I would assume he hangs on until Matt Brash is back, and then that move is for Brash. However, again, you could go out there and add maybe in a few days a Sarin Lau or someone like that just to hold you over, because Trent Thornton, he just cannot get the job done. He's giving up home runs left and right. His fly ball to home run percentage is still 50% or something crazy like that.
Yikes.
It's bad. It's really bad right now for Trent Thornton, and it doesn't show any sign of getting better. Thankfully, in the end, it didn't cost the Mariners today, although it looked pretty rough. It got a little scary there. Munoz had to come in, and I mean, he pitched his booty off. He looked great like usual. But he was warming up in the 8th.
Oh.
Yeah, before that home run, he was warming up.
Okay.
Because there were 2 runners on first and second. Thornton did not look like he was going to get out of the inning. Gives up the home run, and Munoz and Carlos Vargas were warming up. I think Vargas was warming up in case they blew the lead.
Yeah,
and then Munoz
is there to get the save, go 10 for 10 in save ops.
Right.
Yeah, I think Thornton, if there's a team that maybe you can look to try and trade him to try and recoup any value from Trent Thornton, I don't know what team out there needs a bunch of bullpen help. Maybe the Diamondbacks. Their bullpen's been shambles all year, but as a reclamation project that you're gonna have to pay $2 million to the rest of the year, really worth it? I'm not sure. I don't know if there's a Ryan Stanek-esque trade available for Thornton. It might be a Mike Baumann DFA type situation.
And I think Stanek had a better start to the year than Thornton had. So it's you're not gonna go out and get a Ryland Thomas for Trent Thornton. So yeah, in my opinion, it'll just end up being a DFA for Thornton when the time comes. Hopefully he clears waivers. I doubt he would, just with all of his veteran experience. I'm sure he'll find a latch on with another team. But if he didn't, I would love for the Mariners to be able to keep him down in AAA because he has been great for this team over the past couple of years. But just this year is just it's not working out for him. So the biggest news of this series was Logan Gilbert. Now,
moment of silence. Thank you.
Well, what did I say about not making me laugh? Moment of silence for Logan Gilbert's arm there. Yeah, so come to find out, what you could see it in that first game, his first strikeout, he looked like he was wincing pretty hard. He yelled some choice words when he was coming off the field, and his velo was down a tick or two. There's good news and bad news, and obviously I've had the chance to talk about this a little bit on the channel already. It is a grade 1 flexor strain for Logan Gilbert, which could be fine. That could be something where, you give him a couple of weeks and he bounces back, and there's no structural damage whatsoever, and he's good to go. But on the other hand, that is what they called Robbie Ray's injury when he first came out back in the 2024 season. Was it 24? 23 season when he first came out at the beginning of the year. And we all know how that ended. So worst case scenario, the Mariners could be without Logan Gilbert until the All-Star break next year at the earliest. You haven't had a chance to talk about this yet.
Yeah.
Run me through your thought process right now.
You said the worst case scenario. We all know what the worst case scenario is. It's Tommy John. It's TJ. It's two initials that you never want to hear relating to a starting pitcher.
Poor TJ Matthewson.
Oh, poor guy.
Poor guy.
I was surprised when I saw you uploaded a video saying, he doesn't need Tommy John. I was like, counting some chickens.
Yeah.
Counting a handful of chickens there, because we all, anyone that was paying attention to socials after it was announced that it was a grade 1 strain, I think Jeremy Crom and then Jage kindly brought us back to the time frame with Robbie Ray and his grade 1 flexor strain, where, we'll sit him out for 2 weeks, we'll see what's going on, and then, nope, he's done. So with Logan, the fact that he has also publicly said, though, that he felt better the following day, that leaves, I think, what the emotion that I'm feeling is cautiously optimistic. I am not banking on the fact that he will pitch again this year because of the history of forearm tightness and forearm injuries, just how they've permeated throughout baseball for the last decade. But if he's erring on the side of caution, but also being optimistic about it, what's the earliest time that he could return this year if he does not end up needing season-ending surgery? Is it the All-Star break this year? Is he returning, say, mid-July? Could it be earlier than that? I think it could. It just depends on the severity of the injury, depends on how he's feeling specifically. I think George was probably supposed to be back this week, but he hasn't thrown live, but there's a little update there too. So the timelines and time frames of all of these injuries, they get kind of muddy because everyone heals differently. Everyone feels differently how, just with their progress in general as far as their arm health is concerned. For Logan Gilbert, if he's out the rest of the year, I am scared. Even if he misses 2 months, what is the ideal outcome for this injury for him? It's to miss Tommy John for sure. But if he comes back and the team's out of it by then because they're missing his presence in the rotation so desperately by July, I don't think that a collapse like that's necessarily impossible, but I don't think with how the offense has been playing that that's likely to happen. Just it's literally doomsday prepping in my head of all the worst things that could all culminate all at once. And if you told me a month ago that Victor Robles would be out, that potential utility platoon role player Ryan Bliss and then Logan Gilbert all would have key injuries, I'd be like, we're toast. We're toast. But the team's got fight, the team has grit, and the offense has continued to win games for this team when the pitching hasn't been as sharp. And there have been also games where the pitching does show up. They're more middle of the road. Obviously, the second game with Castillo, that's a huge game for the pitching staff in general. Obviously, it's against the Marlins, but we saw them also score 8 runs and 7 runs respectively in the other 2 games. I think I'm just avoiding it.
Yeah.
I haven't really given you a concrete
No, you have
take
not.
because I'm avoiding what I think is going to happen, which is he's going to need Tommy John.
Right. Yeah, I unfortunately wouldn't be shocked if that is the outcome, but if there is one pitcher in baseball, in my opinion, that with how diligent Logan Gilbert is about his arm health, if you've ever seen his like weird bag of toys that he has down in spring training or even down in the bullpen before starts and whatnot, he's got like this weird stick thing, he's got a big water ball thing. Like, nobody is more diligent about their strength and conditioning than Logan Gilbert, in my opinion. And so that does give me some confidence. He's also said that he's felt this before. He's felt a forearm tightness like this before. It's just this is the first time it's really bothered him in a start. And so definitely something to keep an eye on there. But like you said, best case scenario, I think maybe you get him back mid-July. I think around the All-Star break's probably a good shout.
Because they're going to shut him down, and then he has to work back up, and then he has to go through rehab starts, which I imagine they would take slower than normal.
Right.
It wouldn't be an accelerated process. Not to say that other arm injury, like say George Kirby, his rehab starts, it's every 5 days. I wouldn't be surprised if when Logan goes to do it, it's every 7.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, or however the games line up for those.
Right. And so that's why, because again, it's only 2 weeks he's being shut down and they're going to reevaluate. But even then, let's assume they reevaluate and everything's fine. He's cleared medically to pick up a baseball and throw. Cool. With that being said, if he has to go on a rehab assignment, like Joe said, you're probably going to want to get him 2, 3, maybe 4 starts down in the minor leagues. That's going to take the better part of a month just for something like that. So you have to expect that at least until the early to mid-July, you are going to be without Logan Gilbert. Do you think, Joe, that Logan Evans can continue to be as sharp as he was today to replace Logan Gilbert, or do you think they might need to go out there and make a move?
I think that it all depends. Oh, God. I've been wrong before, many times, actually. But I've also been pleasantly surprised by the development of some of the arms in this system. Bryce Miller, Brian Wu jumping on the scene in 2023, like rising to the occasion when Robbie Ray and Marco Gonzalez both got shut down. That was not something I expected out of either of them to be ready for. We've felt that Logan Evans probably could have started this year in the bigs if need be. He probably could have. Obviously, they wanted to go another route, give him some time in Tacoma. I think he'll be okay. I don't know if they need to go outside of what they've already got planned. I think it depends on Kirby's health when he comes back, because that then, like when Kirby comes back, who goes? Is it Evans or is it Hancock? Is it whoever's pitching better at the time? Or are they just going to ride with the guy that's got a bit more experience in Emerson Hancock and then let Logan Evans continue to develop? I don't know what the right answer is because, one, Hancock's pitching well enough to, I'd say, hold on to his rotation spot over Logan Evans for the time being. That can change in 3 weeks after we see 2-3 more starts out of either of them. But the only, who on the free agent market, because I don't think they're going to make a trade.
Interesting.
And if they do make a trade, I don't know where they go.
Interesting. Did you happen to watch the video I posted?
No.
Interesting. Okay. So, first and foremost, I want to say there's a chance they could go to a 6-man, right? When George comes back.
Sure.
Just because of how the health and the rotation's gone so far. We know Bryce has had trouble bouncing back.
Yeah.
George obviously started the year on the injured list. And then when it comes to both Logan Evans and Emerson Hancock, they don't have a whole lot of innings under their belt. So it might be better for them to go to a 6-man. With that being said, that's less starts for Brian Wu. That's less starts for Luis Castillo. But we know Luis Castillo ended the year on the injured list last year. And we know Brian Wu's injury history. So it might not be the worst idea to go to a 6-man. However, I mentioned in the video 3 guys that the Mariners could go out there and trade for. Teams that are probably out of it.
Okay.
Teams that these guys are on 1-year deals. And they're not terribly expensive. Number 1, Eric Fetty.
Sure.
He's worth $7 million, 1-year deal on the Cardinals.
Has he been pitching well this year compared to last year?
I don't remember.
I'll look.
But while you look that up, I think that that's a move the Mariners go out there and make because we've talked about them trading with the Cardinals a lot already. I think that Fetty does make a lot of sense. He's a guy that has had a lot of success in the past. And if worst case scenario, Logan Gilbert is going to miss the rest of the year, I don't know if I feel comfortable having Logan Evans or Emerson Hancock take that spot the rest of the year, because they're going to wear down. Again, they haven't thrown 180 innings before this, So I don't know why we can't assume they'll be able to do that now.
Eric Fedde has a 4.68 ERA on the year, but I don't know if that's updated after his start today, where he went 4 2/3 with 10 hits and 5 earned.
Next on my list is Andrew Heaney.
The Heen Dog.
The Heen Dog.
He's been pitching very well.
Very well.
Yeah.
With the Pirates. He's making, I think, between 5 and 7 million, somewhere in there. And the last one is Zach Littell.
Okay. Is he still with Tampa Bay?
He is still with Tampa Bay, and you know how Tampa Bay loves to move contracts. So.
Okay. I guess there's options. I think, like, for the free agency, you look at Spencer Turnbull as like a name that's there.
You can maybe sign him, but the problem is he won't be built up. So
unless he's been throwing.
Like, but he hasn't been facing live
but
hitters.
It's not game ready, which is like why you make a trade instead of signing that.
You'd probably sign Turnbull to a minor league contract and let him build up down in AAA until you feel like you need him. Then sure. But until then, the free agent market just doesn't really fit.
I think doing a 6-man until maybe the trade deadline and then going out and getting a bona fide guy would be, I think, I don't think that's unreasonable. And I could see that working out well for all the arms available. And if you happen to trade one of those guys that's in the 6-man, and like if it's Hancock or if it's Logan Evans, and then you send the other one down when you acquire that more prolific arm, it could be someone like Fedde, or it could be someone that's better. I think Fedde's probably, of the arms you named, the one I'd be most comfortable rolling with for the entire year. I don't know how much I would trust Heaney and his success, just given his career in general. He's been fine, but this is not the pitcher that he normally is. So how much longer will he be able to, capture lightning in a bottle? But I didn't think about the 6-man just because I know how disdainful they are about it in general from like the pitching standpoint. But I just don't like thinking about it because it makes me miss Logan Gilbert even more.
Yeah. Well, let's get off the Logan Gilbert topic, because now we're all sad. Operation Overreaction. It's mine this week, or this episode. And I have a fun one.
Okay.
The Seattle Mariners are going to have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 All-Stars.
Okay. Can I pick them out?
Yes.
Jorge Polanco. Andres Munoz. Ooh, gosh, where do I go? J.P. Crawford. Let's go. And Brian Wu. Not Brian Wu.
They'll have 5.
Oh, okay. We adding Brian Wu?
I actually forgot that I had Brian Wu on there.
Okay. And Cal Raleigh.
Cal Raleigh.
Stupid.
Cal Raleigh will be that one. Yeah. So the 5 All-Stars will be, as Joe just mentioned, Jorge Polanco, J.P. Crawford, Cal Raleigh, Brian Wu, and Andres Munoz. Obviously, Andres Munoz might be getting Cy Young votes.
Might be.
He might not allow a run ever. And so I think that when it comes to how well this team has been playing, with the All-Star game coming up here in, 2 months' time?
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner. If these guys continue, you could even maybe throw Ben Williamson in there. Huh?
What do you say?
What do you think about all that? I think that the only hard part with that is it's very difficult to have that many guys on an all-star team because there's only so many spots.
Yeah.
And every team has to have at least 1 representative. And so 5, I think they'll have 5 that are deserving. I think at most 3 make it. But I'm drinking the Kool-Aid and it should be 5. And those are the 5 that I think it should be. The hard part with position players is it's all a fan vote, which kind of sucks. Because a lot of times we might not all be able to come through. We can't always be on our phones voting like that. So
J.P. Crawford is the best WRC plus for shortstops in baseball.
Yeah, better than Lindor, Witt,
and Bobby.
Yep.
Whoa,
yep.
That's crazy.
Was it 244?
His WRC plus 146.
140. Okay,
146.
Yeah.
That's insane. So is Polo the DH then for the American League?
Yes.
Because by second base, is Polo listed as second base? Probably not. He's going to be a DH. I'm trying to see all their WRC pluses by whatever. Why is Cal Raleigh listed? Opolo's probably not a qualified batter, huh?
You don't think so? I mean, I think you're right. He's not. I think it's only by a few plate appearances that he's not. But I think he has a 244.
235.
Is it down to 235? Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
I mean, it's hard to keep it that high.
Better than Aaron Judge.
Yeah. He's the best player on planet Earth.
Shohei Ohtani? You know what I'm saying?
Tani?
But what do you think? Is that an overreaction or like?
I don't think it's an overreaction. I think you're definitely drinking the Kool-Aid of what have these players done for me lately, because prior to the road trip, JP Crawford was nowhere near like there were people in the live streams saying that JP Crawford should be off the team. Just gonna put that out there. That was like what, a week and a half ago?
Well, over his last 17 games, I think he's hitting.
So like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, over 300. Something.
So like, yes, he has turned it around tremendously, but prior to that, he did look really poor. Like, it was not good. But he buckled in, strapped in, dug his feet into the dirt and got it going.
That's right.
Cal Raleigh obviously leading the American League in home runs. I don't know if he's tied
for all of baseball.
Probably, yeah.
With Gino.
Oh yeah, because Gino
hit 4 home runs yesterday.
Insane. Yeah, Cal's there's no other catcher that's close. And then Munoz obviously hasn't allowed a run. He's 10 for 10 in save ops. And then Wu as a starting pitcher. I mean, I think he's got the highest upside to continue to pitch well enough to make the All-Star team. If I had to leave one off this list, say we cut it down to 5, or we cut it from 5 down to 4, I think Wu would get snubbed.
Yeah.
Out of those. And then if we cut it down from 4 to 3, who are you snubbing?
Unfortunately, probably JP
Crawford. Even though he is, I feel like, long deserved an all-star shout.
Yes.
And if he continues to play this well, I think he could find his way in there. But when you look around the rest of the American League, you have Bobby Witt, you have Gunnar Henderson. I mean, Jacob Wilson's playing amazing for the Athletics. Those are 3 shortstops that I could see getting more votes than JP just on like name power alone.
Right. And again, it's
hype.
It's a popularity contest. So does JP Crawford have the popularity? He's not the big name, so he's probably not going to get in just because of that. Cal, I think, is a lock.
Yeah,
as long as he
has earned the respect from the league in general, from like national media, everything. Like Mookie Betts named, surround yourself with an infield that you are not currently, like, you can't name current teammates, and Cal Raleigh was his catcher.
Was it?
Yeah.
So there you have it. If Mookie's voting for Cal, so are you.
So should you.
We want you, Uncle Sam,
to vote for the big dumper.
All right, Joe, we have a series to talk about. Obviously, it's going to be an off day here today on Monday, but starting on Tuesday, a very strange, very stupid 2-game series versus the Los Angeles Angels of Disneyland. I don't know why they get a day off after flying home from Minnesota when the Mariners didn't get a day off when flying home from Boston. But sure, we're going to have a 2-game series because that makes sense.
I saw a post from someone that may be an Angels beat writer. They did not have an off day Thursday, and they played, I think, a night game, and then didn't get to their hotel until like midnight or something. I don't know. But then they had an East Coast game. It was this whole thing where they had less than like 8 hours in the hotel before they needed to go out there to play again the next day. So I think that's where this day off comes in, because they didn't get it the previous week.
Well, sounds like an average Mariners road game.
I'm just saying that's probably where it comes from. Not to say that we should give the Angels anything other than a swift kick in the teeth when they come to town. Jack Kahanowitz.
A swift kick in the Kahanowitz.
Looking at you, buddy. And he's probably, is he like 6'8"?
Sounds good to me.
I think he's pretty tall. Bryce Miller versus Jack Kahanowitz on the mound in the first game. I got it. 6'7". So
Shame.
Close. I think he made his debut against the Mariners last year.
He did.
He's currently sporting a 5.47 ERA in 2025. Kind of a bum, if you ask me. But Bryce Miller, obviously the better pitcher, a 4.21 ERA. That's like way better than a 5.47. So you have the pitching advantage in game 1. You're also pitching at home. I don't know. Does Miller pitch better at home? Duh. All Mariners pitchers pitch better at home.
Right.
And I think that's like an easy pitching advantage that you could say that you have in this game.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. I think with how well the Mariners offense has played at home as well. Recently. Whoa. That's something that we can look forward to versus Jack Kahanowitz.
Why are you giving so much credit to the second best offense in all of baseball? The second best offense in all of baseball.
By WRC Plus.
By WRC Plus.
Behind only
the New York Yankees.
That's right.
And Aaron Judge, who isn't as good as Jorge Polanco. You heard it here. The Mariners have the second best WRC Plus in all of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. given the what the like the shtick around them, the words around them in the offseason, they were the same team, and they were bad.
Yeah.
But the last 30 games, they were pretty good last year. They were like a top 5 offense in all baseball. And are we seeing that come to fruition?
So far, yes.
Pretty much. I think you're subbing out maybe Julio for Polanco in terms of production, because Julio was going nuclear last year at the end of the year, and now Polanco's going crazy to start the year. But yeah, second best offense in all of baseball. We have a WRC plus.
Yeah, definitely did not see that coming. They're also top 10 now, I believe. Oh, they're not.
No, they're 13th, tied with the Dodgers in team ERA at 3.79. The Angels got off to a good start. Some players like Kyron Paris obviously were really hot out the gates. They have scuffled big time. They have kind of hit the wall and are sliding down it slowly. 12-15. Got a 4.75 team ERA. We know the pitching's never been great in Anaheim.
Offense is 26th.
And it's just this 2-game set. Yes, it's only 2 games. Like if you split it, like whatever, you'll find ways to win further series down the line. But this should be a 2-game set that you come out with winning both games.
Yeah, you got to feel pretty good about that first pitching matchup. In game 2, it's going to be Emerson Hancock versus old friend Tyler Anderson. So a left-handed pitcher on the mound there. I'm assuming, depending on what's going on with Rowdy Tellez's hand, we might see Donovan Solano as the starter in both of these games, which makes me want to throw up a little bit.
A little gross,
but hopefully Ben Williamson can get back in there. Tyler Anderson has a 2.6 ERA on the season so far, so he's pitched quite well. Obviously, he's been very up and down throughout his MLB career. He was really good when the Mariners, I think, traded him, or when he signed with the Pirates. Is that a thing? Was he ever with the Pirates?
I think
2021.
I think in 2021 we traded for him from the Pirates. He was okay, but it was mainly the Dodgers that earned him that big contract going to the other Los Angeles team in the following offseason. Did not have a good first season, had a better year last year, and he's pitching well so far. He's got a 2.6 ERA, but if you look at his FIP, it's 5.2. His expected ERA is a full run higher than his actual ERA, so the underlying data on Tyler Anderson does not bode well. And I mean, I'd look for Dylan Moore to hit a leadoff home run against him.
Okay.
I'm in. Leadoff Demo, he's kind of a demon.
Demon.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. But Emerson Hancock pitching at home, both starts that he's made that were good were on the road. Will he let the ghosts of starts past haunt him in T-Mobile? I hope not.
Speaking of haunting someone at T-Mobile, how many home runs is Mike Trout gonna hit off of Emerson Hancock? At least 2, right? At least 2. Trout's been awful this year, by the way.
He's batting below 180.
Yeah, he he has 8 or 9 home runs,
but he's only hitting home runs.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, his I think OBP is 270 or something like that. Yeah.
What happened to my goat?
Yeah. Mike Trout, it's good that he's healthy. It's always good when Mike Trout is on the baseball field.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's ever a get right series for one Michael Bartholomew Trout,
it's the 2-game series against the Mariners randomly in April.
That's right. Yeah. So looking forward to that one. That's going to do it from us here on episode 186 of the Hit It Here podcast. Let's keep it rolling. We appreciate you guys watching this one, and go Mariners.